and consistent about the enforcement and also implementing this ordinance. And also, we do have a junked vehicle ordinance in that if there is a vehicle that is no longer operable, and oftentimes you can just look at a vehicle. If the tires are missing, for example, the windows may be broken out, it doesn't have current registration, then our code enforcement department can enforce that. And they can tag that vehicle, and then the property owner has a certain amount of time to remedy the situation, whether it's removing the vehicle, making it salvaged, or in some instances, making the vehicle operable. And so we can have some enforcement in doing that. It kind of helps to combat the use of having junked vehicles parked in the front of a home on the street or on the actual property.
Right. Well, thank you for all of that information. Now I want to talk about another topic as far as development. You know, Texarkana is in a great location with Interstate 30 running right through it. I know we have potential for 2 rather large additions to the transportation in Texarkana. Now, we've also got new businesses popping up everywhere. So could you tell us a bit about the economic development going on in Texarkana right now?
Well, we do have ongoing economic development efforts within the city itself. We have an economic development department that's headed by Mr. Jerry Sparks. We also have various industrial parks around the city. We have one out by the airport, the Maxwell Industrial Park on the Arkansas side, the Falvey Park, which is on the south side of the city. And then most recently, we have the Texarkana Center, which is out adjacent to the Red River Army Depot property, and they are in the business to develop land and or new buildings or existing buildings for business development. So we have the infrastructure in place, or the land in place for development in the future. We have noticed a significant increase in our commercial sector in the community. As you mentioned, we have a lot of businesses, a lot of restaurants, and we continue to see growth in that sector, which is very good. With the merging of I-49 into Texarkana, and I'm being told that that will be open from Texarkana all the way to Shreveport probably in September of this year. So we're going to have a pretty good size influx of traffic coming through our area from the south, and that will be very good news for us as a community. We'll have more motorists coming through our community. There will be more truck traffic coming through our community. And so I think in the long range, with the merging of I-49 with I-30 and then eventually I-69, which is an upgrade of U.S. Highway 59, we're going to see 3 major interstate systems in Texarkana, which makes us a prime location for distribution centers or businesses or companies that relate to the transporting of commercial goods and those types of things through our community.
Okay, well, that sounds really great. So everyone loves, you know, a new restaurant or a new place to shop. I know I do. I mean, it's one of my favorite things.
Right.
But it's also really important to attract industry to secure jobs and strengthen the economy. So could you tell us, what does it take to attract the right kind of industry and jobs and whatnot to the city?
Right. There are several components that make a successful economic development effort. First of all, having the resources, personnel in place to make it happen, and we do have that. We also, at the city, work very closely, as I mentioned, Texarkana Center, our other industrial parks. We also work very closely with the Texarkana Chamber of Commerce for economic development. So that's very good that you have open communication from all these various entities. Another thing is that which we do offer, you need to have very good utility rates as far as rates for electricity, rates for natural gas, which we have that. Also, a plentiful supply of water is very, very important. Some particular companies or industries are large consumers of water. So whether it's raw water or whether it's treated water, very, very important to have that. So we do have an abundant supply of water in our local region, which is very important. And as we've all heard stories across the state of Texas as well as throughout the United States, there are numerous regions within our state and within our country that are experiencing some very, very severe drought conditions.
Yes.
But we've been very fortunate here to have ample rainfall to help support our effort of having water available not only to our residents and to our commercial sector, but also for future development.
All right. Well, Now can you tell us if there are any new exciting developments? I know that people are always wondering, what's coming up next?
Right. We do. We have prospects that come to our city primarily on a daily basis to look at our community, and oftentimes those projects are kind of kept close to the vest until there's a formal announcement to be made, and we certainly respect that, and that's kind of a tradition as far as in the economic development sector. So I'm not privy as far as any specific economic development announcements to make at this time. Backing up just a minute, though, in our retail sector, we talked about that, and I know that that's very important, especially with economic development. But with the new Walmart stores that we have coming to our community, that's going to be very, very advantageous, especially with one being constructed over at the corner of College Drive and Summerhill Road, which the land has been cleared as of right now. That's going to be a very, very good location for a grocery store in the center part of the city. There'll be another one also located north of the interstate. So when you see a growth of the commercial sector, especially restaurants, grocery stores, this type of thing, that is a good barometer as far as how your community is doing. So we're doing quite well here. Are we content with what we have? Of course not. We're always wanting more. It's very, very important that we reach that goal and strive for more development. But we have some very good things going on in our community, and we're very encouraged about the future as well.
Well, I know I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to see how big Texarkana gets to grow. Now, while development is very important to a city, redevelopment is also very, very key to the success of our community. So could you tell us what's going on with Grimm right now?
Well, we have had some very good success with our downtown area. A lot of our citizens, especially those who have lived here for their entire lifetime or for a long period of time, have a strong, strong passion, as I do, for the downtown area. So we've seen some significant positive things taking place. The Grimm Hotel is a most recent example of that. There is a firm that is looking at redevelopment of the Grimm Hotel, which is very, very exciting. The first floor and second floor would be converted primarily into retail or commercial type of floor space.
Okay.
The floors above that, however, would be transformed into 1 and 2 bedroom unit retail apartments, which is very, very exciting.
Yeah.
There is quite a bit of housing already downtown with loft apartments. The occupancy rates are very, very high for this type of development. So there's a passion or a desire for this type of venue. So there is a firm that is a company that's working very, very hard in working through some various forms of grants, federal grants, to make this come to fruition. It's about an $11 million project. We will probably know something within the next 30 to 60 days of where we stand, because this proposal for the Grimm Hotel is being submitted along with other proposals from other cities, and it's based on a point system. So we feel like that we have a very, very good opportunity here, though it is very competitive. We're very optimistic and hoping that this will come to fruition. And then with the development of the Grimm Hotel, I think we will see very soon behind that development more development within the downtown area. So this would be kind of a main hub for the downtown area if it's developed, and we certainly have our fingers crossed.
Yes. Well, that sounds very exciting. I would love to see downtown kind of be rejuvenated. It's so beautiful down there.
And there's so much history downtown. It's just amazing. Our museum systems does a great job in promoting the history of Texarkana. They have some ghost walks that have started at downtown at 11 o'clock at night. You can go on their website to get the tour and the times for that. And so it's done all outdoors, but they walk around in groups to different buildings and kind of talk about the historic significance of those buildings. And so they do a fantastic job.
Well, that sounds exciting. I'll have to check that out for sure.
Sure.
Well, thank you for being here with us today on Texarkana Talk, and we really appreciate all that you and the City Council do for our community. It's really great. So thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation, and I appreciate the opportunity of being here and sharing this great news with our community, and look forward to other representatives from the city to spend time with you to talk about all the great things that we have going on in Texarkana, USA.
Well, thank you, and I look forward to that.
Okay, thank you.
Well, you heard it here, and this has been Texarkana Talk. I'm your host, Sarah Edwards, and be sure to join us next time.